Welcome to Brownells Tech Tips. Today I'm going to show you how to configure and optimize your Windows installation and get it all set up to where it runs a lot more stable than what it did whenever you originally first done the install or first got your system. I will explain the differences between desktop and laptop, as the laptop configuration is a little bit different. However, for the most part, they're going to run pretty close to the same. So first things first, let's show you how to set up your power settings. All you have to do is right click on the desktop and click personalize. And then you'll see right here you have your theme, your background, your screensaver. The one you're looking for is this one right here, which is the screensaver. Once you click on that, you'll see the screensaver dialog box pop up, and you'll see you can set your screensaver right here. Most of the time on a fresh install of Windows 7, your screensaver will not be set. Generally, it has no screensaver and it says wait 0 minutes. And you generally want to run a screensaver, so all you have to do is select any one of the screensavers you want. For mine, I run Mistify, and in general, set it for about 15 minutes. That usually gives me plenty of time. If I'm going to walk away for a couple of minutes and come back, it won't go to the screensaver. However, if I'm going to walk away for a long time and come back, it'll be on the screensaver. So once you get that set, just click apply and it'll set your screensaver. Now you want to look down here at the bottom where it says power management and click the link that says change power settings. Okay, and your system should be on balanced. If it's not, select the balanced and then come over here to change plan settings on the right side. Normally this right here will be set pretty similar to this. I'm going to set it up like most of your default ones would be. Okay, 10 minutes, 20 minutes. And if it's set to turn the display off in 10 minutes, put the computer to sleep at 20. With a desktop, you don't want it doing that. However, with a laptop, I would leave those exactly what the defaults are for the laptop. Laptops are designed to run as needed. Desktops are designed to run pretty well continuously on a regular basis. So with the desktop, you want to make sure both of these are set to never, and then hit save changes. It's going to take you back out. That's fine. Just click change plan settings again. And we're going to go to the change advanced power settings. Now you have the power options dialog. And what you want to look for the plus sign next to the hard disk and expand it, and then click on the plus sign again to turn off hard disk after. And more often than not, you'll find that this is set on 10 minutes or 20 minutes. On a desktop, you definitely want to set this to 0 or never, and the best way to do that is to either click the little down arrow or highlight the number, hit 1 and hit the down arrow one time and it'll switch to never. The reason you want it doing this is to have the hard drives constantly turning on and off actually generates more wear and tear on the drive and will eventually cause your hard drive to fail much faster than it would under normal use. On a laptop, again, leave this on default. I would not recommend changing it. And then come down here to, if you have a wireless network adapter, you'll want to come down here, and this applies to both laptops and desktops. Most of them will be set on maximum power saving or medium power saving. You want to change that over to maximum performance, so that way it doesn't cut the power down to your wireless network adapter or cause it to turn off to where you can no longer connect up to your internet whenever your laptop or your desktop sets an idle for a certain amount of time or goes into sleep mode. So after you change that setting, you want to click apply, and again that's under the wireless adapter down to the power saving mode and then maximum performance. And then from there, once you click apply, just click OK. And then on the change settings for plan balanced, you can just click cancel or close it out. I'm setting mine to the ASRock Extreme Utility Tuner because my system actually runs a special program that manages the entire system off of the motherboard. And once you get that closed out of the way, just click OK. and close this. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to tweak the main system, and you want to start this by first clicking on Start. Come up here to Computer, right click on Computer and click Properties. Now you'll see a box that pops up that says View Basic Information about your computer. You really want to pay attention to and remember this part right here that says Installed RAM. Matter of fact, I would even recommend moving it over just a bit to the side so that way you'll have a good view of this as you get ready to go and make changes. So once you know what the RAM is in your system, come over here to Advanced System Settings and click on it. Now you'll see one here that says Performance. This is the main box that you want to click on. This one's going to do the most for your system, and it's going to help keep you from having a lot of problems later on down the road. So all you have to do is just click Settings here, and you'll see the visual effects. If you don't have a high-end 3D graphics card and your system's running a little sluggish, you can actually get a decent performance boost right here just from selecting just for best performance, and it drops all the extra special visualizations for Windows 7. And whenever you click Apply, you're going to notice that everything's going to change over to a very basic looking Windows setup. And this is actually fine. This means that you're not running all the extra built-in graphical enhancements to make Windows just look better. However, if you do have a high-end video card and you want Windows to look decent, all you have to do is either select for best appearance, which selects everything, and Windows 7 looks like it should. And you even notice that you can actually see things through the windows that I have open because it sets the transparency. It's kind of a nice touch, but it's not absolutely necessary. For my system, I normally just tell it to let Windows choose what's best, and it stops saving. The only one it deselects is the Save Taskbar Thumbnail Previews. It stops saving those, which doesn't hurt my feelings any. Just click Apply. You always have to click Apply whenever you change settings like that, otherwise it won't actually put the settings in full effect in most cases. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to configure your swap file, and this will generate a performance boost and help you out with a lot less problems down the road. So now that you're done with the visual effects, you want to select the Advanced tab and completely ignore the settings here under Processor Scheduling. Do not make any changes right there. Go down here to the virtual memory and click Change. On most systems, it's going to be set to automatically manage the paging file for all drives. You want to deselect that, and generally it'll say right here, if you only have one drive in your system, it'll say C drive and system managed. With a laptop and a desktop, you want to set a set size static swap file, due to the fact that if you leave it on the automatically managed page file size for all drives, you can actually install too much software and have too much data on the drive to the point that Windows can no longer allocate what it needs in order to have the swap file running to keep the system stable. So your system can actually start going downhill from there and just totally lock up and crash on you to where you really can't do anything with the system. So in order to take care of that issue, you want to click on Custom Size, and this system here has 8 gig in it, as you can tell right there. And the standard rule of thumb for a swap file is it needs to be 1.5 times the size of the amount of RAM in the system. So cut that 8 gig in half, and now I have 4 gigs. So I add 4 to the 8, which makes 12. You see down here, it says total paging file size for all drives, minimum allowed 16 megabytes, recommended 12223 megabytes. That's actually just a hair under 12 gig. Most people would think that that was automatically 12 gig. No, that is just a hair under. because the actual RAM and the size for megabytes and gigabytes is measured. 1 gigabyte is 1024 megabytes. So in order to find out the exact amount that you need to type in, you need to click on Start, go to All Programs, Accessories, and just fire up your Windows calculator. And from here, seeing as how I need a 12 gig swap file, I'll put in 12 times 1024, which equals 12,288 megabytes is exactly 12 gig. So I'm going to plug in that number right here, which is 12288. And the reason I'm making both of these the same, it says initial size and then maximum size, is so that way when the system starts, it automatically starts with a set size swap file and Windows can use it. And then once you get that put in, all you have to do is click Set. And you see up here now I have the 12 gig swap file. If your system only has 4 gig of RAM in it, then your swap file is going to need to be 6. And 6 times 1024 is 6144. So that's the standard rule of thumb for setting a swap file in your system. And as you were able to see, Windows will actually, by its recommended, get you very, very close to where you need to be. And in all honesty, if you were to set it to that, your system would actually run just fine, and it would have exactly what Windows needs. So we can close out the calculator. Now if you, with a laptop or desktop, happen to have multiple hard drives, you can get a major performance boost by not having a swap file on the primary drive that Windows is installed on. And Windows will always be installed on C. See how you have the C colon right there? Ignore that personal. I actually have my drive's name, but it'll always be installed on C. If you actually take Windows, or take the swap file off the Windows drive and put it on the secondary drive, you'll get a major performance boost, because Windows has to read and write to and from the swap file all the time. And with the mechanical hard drive, which most hard drives are, it actually slows the system down, because now it's having to read and write to that swap file at all times, plus read and write to the operating system and any data or anything you're running on the system. It would be like if you were sitting down at your table or your desk trying to fill out an application and 2 kids come in. Well, how far are you going to get, and how quickly are you going to be able to fill out that application? You're going to run considerably slower. However, if someone else takes care of the 2 kids and manages them, then you have all the time you need, and you can focus only on that application. So same principle, and it actually helps Windows run much more stable by having the swap file on a secondary drive. So whenever you set your swap file, you'll click OK, and it's going to come up telling you the changes you made require a restart. Just click OK, and then click Apply and OK on the performance options. And now you're going to be back to the system properties. At this point, select Remote. We're going to do something now that'll help out with some of the security and disable some of the Windows options that can actually let people in the backside of your system relatively easy. So you see this remote assistance that says allow remote assistance connections to this computer. Deselect that. That actually allows people to log into your computer as though they were going to work on it and have total control over your entire system. And if you do not use a remote desktop, make sure don't allow connections to this computer selected, and then just click Apply and OK. At this point, it's going to pop up the Restart Now. You can select the Restart button and your system will restart. Set the swap file. You're going to notice a major performance boost in how it runs. It'll load applications a lot faster. If you're able to put the swap file on a separate hard drive, it will load much faster. And in general, you're going to be pretty happy with how it runs and how it's going. If you like my videos, please refer your friends. This information is out there for everybody. And watch, like, and share. Have a good day.